Destruction Derby put me in mind of games I used to play as a boy. At the time I was easily impressed by blood, explosions and action, so when I was going to do another review I was actually going to review The Lost World Jurassic Park. But then it sort of hit me, this game never gave me as much entertainment as the RugRats Search for Reptar. Yes, I'm deadly serious. Back when I was 7, I was an avid gamer, so when my mum walked through the door with a copy of RugRats Search for Reptar, I was less than impressed. RugRats was of course for babies. I was obviously mature for my age considering I still did bum jokes. But after giving it a fair chance, I can honestly say it was one of the most fun and well designed games I've ever played. And I feel there's absolutely no shame in saying it. There's no waste with this game, everything that needs to be there is included and any fat has been trimmed. Unfortunately, this is one of the games I threw away the case for. In my infinite wisdom, I decided saving space was more important than anything else, and crammed them all into this bland CD case. I'd love to say cases add value to PlayStation games, but in some cases it's untrue. A lot of titles can be worth 50 pence even with a case, so stop hoarding all your damn money and make a PlayStation collection. Now's about the right time. The basic storyline here is that Tommy Pickles has lost pieces of his reptar puzzle and has to get them back through a series of child-friendly minigames. It's a simple storyline that holds itself together well, and the minigames are well designed and fun to play. Because of the size of this game and the amount of levels there are, I will only be visiting 2 of the best ones and 1 of the worst levels. These levels are assessed on how fun the minigames are and the replayability factor. The first of my best levels is Let There Be Light. As a kid, quite honestly, this scared the crap out of me, so looking back on it I can appreciate how well the level is actually designed. I mean, if you look at it today, it's about as frightening as the prospect of training a disabled crab to dance. But back then it was quite something. Basically, the power goes out and you lose your nightlight. Obviously, Tommy is suffering from some sort of mental affliction because he believes, logically, the light must be inside the fridge. Thus begins your quest, get to the fridge. On the way you have to kill ghosts with light. Yeah, it's a bit silly, but actually quite fun. Your light, however, does run out of batteries, but you can find more around the house. What kind of crappy grade batteries do these people buy in order for them to last 10 seconds in a flashlight? Duracell people. Cheapskates. So eventually you find the fridge, but Tommy is a weak and worthless individual, so he has to force the dog to perform manual labour in order to open the fridge. Spike appears randomly around the house, so have fun searching in the dark for about half an hour. When you find him, the level ends and you're awarded a piece of puzzle. Short but sweet with a hint of fear. I always come back to this one, making it very replayable for me. Second favourite for me is Mysterious Mr. Friend. Here you basically get to beat up a creepy toy, nothing better than pseudo-violence against a soulless creature. Well, do I really have to explain this one? You can either kick or throw items at the cretins. It's just satisfying to know you can get back at those weird toys you remember from your childhood, and in the end they blow up. It's very satisfying. Short but sweet child-friendly violence makes this level very replayable, and that is why it's one of my best. Moving swiftly onto the worst level, let me express that this is by no means not playable. It's just where some of the game's flaws rear their ugly faces, much like children on Halloween night after unmasking. The main problems with this game are expressed very well in the level of my choice, 7 Voyages of Cynthia. I really didn't want to reveal these problems, but society demands unbiased approaches. Bastards. In this level you play as Spike, the family dog. He's faster than the babies, and this is where the controls really get on your nerves. If you make contact with a wall, you're flung back like a used piece of toilet roll making contact with a fan. Being as this game usually takes place in a confined environment, that can be a problem. This, coupled with a shoddy at best camera, means that jumps can often be impossible the first time. I fear this dog is either drunk or has been beaten so badly he can no longer control his own limbs. Speaking of jumps, some of these just don't work. You lose so much health trying to make the jump, you wonder why you don't just collapse and die. It would save you the trouble of waiting for the jumps to do it for you. The level is rated hard, but difficulty should be implemented by design, not backwards bloody controls and terrible jumps. The jump animation in this game also makes people look like they're having a mid-air stroke. Mind you, I can't complain about the health. If you stand in toxic waste, the dog seems to take his sweet time perishing. He's probably from Fallout or something crazy like that. Bad controls and shoddy camera work mean that this level is quite unplayable, and I wouldn't want to replay it. Getting back to the camera, take a look at the camera angles on this shopping stage. They make the jumps almost impossible. If you fall down once, you have to start again. With a broken camera and slightly broken controls, you'd have thought they'd have given you some slack, but no. Awful. Eventually you work out that you have to waste your time changing the camera angle by shuffling yourself around until this jump is even possible. Wankers. Aside from the problems I've mentioned, this game is great. They did have the audacity to put a golf game in, however. Name a child that wants to play golf. On the other hand, there's also a level set in a toy store, which is a lot of fun. The final question is, does all this hard work pay off? Well, the answer is yes. After you find all the pieces at the end of the game, you get to play as a giant dinosaur that destroys the entire city. You can even breathe fire.